Alright, what's up y'all, it's Lakerfan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, Lakerfan Exposed. So this is like your classic YouTuber apology video, but not necessarily. I want to be very transparent, take a lot of accountability here, and just, you know, really own up to a lot of things that I have done. But I also do want to explain myself to you guys a little bit for those who are supporters of me, and maybe we'll get the wrong impression as far as like what the narrative is around this. So as you can see, we're just gonna get straight into this. I hope you do enjoy the video, and again, I'm hoping to be very owning up to a lot of things in today's vid. But as you can see, I'm ranked number 10 in 2v2 Proving Grounds. Now that is with a little bit of an asterisk for sure, and I do want to explain to you guys how this whole leaderboard system works. I know it's a bad look. I really hate to do this to 2K because obviously, you know, I'm putting a lot of blame on them rather than myself in some cases, and I don't want to do that entirely in this video. But I want to explain to you guys fully transparently why I did what I did as well. So anyway, let's start off with talking about the record. As you can see, I have 200 wins out of 229 games played. That means it's a record of 229. All 29 of those losses did happen. I didn't, you know, dashboard out of the game, and that's just essentially what we're here to talk about in today's vid, is when you dashboard out of the game, it's going to allow you to not take the loss as far as your rank and your rep on the Proving Grounds. It will still be listed as a loss. That's why you see people with low win percents. Let's go ahead and go to this leaderboard right here. And that's why you see people with a low win percent, like this dude at number 2, for instance, is at a 72 win percent. Like, it makes you wonder how and why in the world there are people with, you know, let's go down to badge plugs win percent for that matter. Makes you wonder how in the world there are people with a 95 win percent at number 19, whereas there's people with 80, 72 win percent that are in the top 5 for that matter. So the problem is, when you dashboard out of the game, it doesn't lose your Proving Grounds rep. Now, I and my teammate Tanner right here did not know about this, and I hate to put my man on blast, you know, but obviously he was here with me, and you guys can see that in all the videos and stuff. But I mean, long story short, we didn't know about that until yesterday or the day before, whatever it was. Long story short, we did 1 day of dashboarding out of games on quits, and I do want to also show you guys a lot of the comp that we were playing, of like why we were doing it as well, for that matter. And in this case, I really hate to be, you know, I really don't like to be this guy who's pointing fingers and explaining like this is why I did it and this is why I'm trying to, like, you know, retain the leaderboards. At the end of the day, bro, what I've come to realize is this stuff is not worth the hassle. Like, to be sitting here and doing all this finger pointing and talk about like, oh, Chalk's doing it, Glassy's doing it, you know, we got like dudes that have, you know, 72 win percents and stuff like that at number 2. Clearly he's doing it as well. He only has 389 games played while having a 72 win percent. That's like clearly a very alarming thing. But I don't like to be that guy who's doing the finger pointing and you know, exposing other people or snitching on them, as a lot of people have said. But naturally, you know, I do gravitate toward that because it's just like I'm trying to defend my name at the same time too. So I apologize. I know I will be doing some throwing people under the bus, but I do have to explain myself a little bit in today's vid. So again, I know it's going to be a little bit ugly. I know it's going to be even more stuff that people are talking about, but listen, I was making videos. I couldn't really stomach the idea of like dodging talking about this. So I wanted to make a video specifically talking about it. And I know I'm doing a lot of sidetracking and a lot of like just dancing around explanations. So let's just get straight into this. I just wanted to preface this with a lot of like, I am trying to take accountability with this, and I am trying to explain to you guys how this all went down and why we did it. So let's start off from the beginning real quick. I want to take you to my screenshots and show you where our record was before even knowing about this glitch. So you're gonna see I'm gonna pull up where we were at the platinum, and we were number 21. And this is where, as you can see, I was 158 and I believe that's 14. So like 158 and 14, it's a really good record. It's like 92.5 win percent. And this is before I even knew about the dashing at all. And so to uphold a win percent that good while also having 172 games played, I would have thought would retain a higher rank in this mode. But the problem is that we have stuff like this. So let's just go ahead and get to the display capture and show you the actual footage now. And also, I know a lot of people have been speculating. They're like, is he capping? Is he like lying about the whole like dashing out doesn't make it so you lose the game? Like, you do still get the losses on your record when you dash the game, just so y'all know. And there's plenty of people that can vouch for that, or also can like show that on their type of stuff as well. But point being, the record that you saw there is legit, and there was no dashboards or anything like that. You can take my word for it or don't. That's up to you. that's totally fine. And I mean, 2K would be able to see that themselves as well. But anyway, as you can see, like I said, I hate to throw people under the bus, but this Glassy dude right here, he's number 6 rep in the world right here as a diamond. He's approaching top 5. And as you can see, he's on a, what do you know, post score with 99 O-board, 95 standing dunk, 95 strength, 7-footer, stuff like that. Obviously, as you can see, he's playing with a 99.3 guard, so you can't double team or anything like that either. But here's the thing. We ended up winning this, even still, by a pretty good margin. And as you can see, me and my teammate, Tanner, right here, we're seeing as we beat them that they stopped playing at the very end of the game. Let me go ahead and show you this. So you can see the big man just stops playing. A lot of times I would assume this is like a crash out, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, the dude just quit. Like he just, you know, was fed up and just left the game, you know? But what it actually turns out to be is, as you can see, they both dash at the end of the game, and it's to preserve their rank. So naturally, I see this. I'm a little bit, you know, I find it odd, but nothing really was too alarming off that. I just was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess they just quit and that was it, you know. However, then, you know, after that game's over, I'm looking for some intel in that regard, because obviously I want to know if I'm a little bit out of the loop, which, granted, in retrospect, I wish I never did this dashboarding stuff at all, because it's just a despicable thing as far as, like, it's not worth the negativity that's come with it, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, as you can see, the dude loads up on a different build. He's on like a 6'8" that also has post control, mid-range, stuff like that. They're going to do some close fade nonsense. Long story short, we win this game by a very slim margin right here. As you can see, it was 20-22. However, even when we're only 2 points up on them, they see that the loss is possibly inevitable, and then he dashes again, as you can see. Now this guy, however, continued to play. He was trying to fight it out to the end, but Glassy goes out again because he's trying to preserve his rep, which, again, after being in his shoes now, I understand, because if everybody else on the leaderboard is doing it, it's going to be extremely hard to compete. Now, I know people hate that type of talk on the Twitter and stuff lately. They've been saying like, oh, just because he does it means I can do it. Like, that's the biggest, you know, cop-out I've ever heard. And I understand it's a very bad mentality to have. However, I want to come back to leaderboards real quick and just show you again what I'm talking about. But look, me and Tanner, our record went from, I mean, we had a pretty bad streak for that matter as the day went on. I mean, we went from 92 win percent to 87 win percent in one day. And naturally, what that would have done is put us probably all the way down to like somewhere in the 30s right here, which is also crazy, by the way, for that matter, because it doesn't match up number-wise at all when you look at the win percents and the games played and stuff like that compared to a lot of the people that are in this like threshold. But regardless, you know, we were somewhere along the lines of badge plug. Now, to be fair, there are other ways that the rep and stuff like that work in this game. When you play, let's say, for instance, Glassy and his teammate right there, that was a diamond and a silver combined. That gives us 2% for each win. Same with like double golds. If 2 golds were showing, it gives us 2% for each win. Now, if you were playing as, and there's even deeper discussion on this stuff as well, like for instance, my player banner. So like, let me back out. I'm a red banner, as you can see. And when you play other red banners, you're more likely playing people that are, you know, higher in the ranks. It's just naturally what happens. Whereas if you're loading up on the black banners, the brown banners, stuff like that, you know, when you come over here to the city and you go down to your city stats right here, and then you can see like your hooper status right here. You can be a casual, a hooper, a baller, stuff like that. And when you're playing in the casual and hooper builds, you and your teammate both, you're matching up with people that are also in that type of threshold. It's how the skill-based matchmaking works in general. And that's why you may see some people retain a really good win percentage, but they may be like playing on builds that are brand new and just recreating them and stuff like that, and playing other people that are pretty bad and naturally are just lower ranks. That's why you may see some people take more wins to get up in that threshold, whereas when you're playing as double MVPs and you got the diamond banners or the platinum banners showing, that's how you end up matching up with a dude like Glassy 3 games in a row and then beat him in all 3 of them. And mind you, again, I didn't know about this thing. You could see I literally messaged him and was curious about that. I come to find out Badge Plug made a video talking about how this was a thing, and that's a whole nother topic as well that I need to clear up Badge's name a little bit, because he was associated with one of the things that I was talking about, but he didn't dash or quit out of the game at all, so don't be slandering him or anything like that. He is a true blue, 100% legit guy on here. Granted, he might be playing on like a lower banner or something like that. That's why it may be taking him more games to get up on this, because I mean, 273 with a 95 win percent is kind of crazy, because again, I was doing this legit and we were at like about what, less than 200 games played, something along the lines of that in that screenshot, and I was sitting at 21 in that screenshot as well, and I promise you that was all legit. 100% at like the 92, 93 win percent. But anyway, the sad truth that I was coming to realize about that is if we're going to be losing games and stuff like that, there's no chance that we're going to compete with people who are clearly losing the games as well, yet sitting at the top 5 on the leaderboard. Like, bro, this dude's getting double rep right now off. And again, I'm doing a lot of finger pointing. I really do apologize for it, but it's just tough to, like, this is a competition, fellas. I mean, like, if I'm trying to compete for getting into the top 5 and I was doing it completely legit beforehand, do you know how impossible that is to compete with people that are up here at the top that are using that type of exploit? And it sucks too, because there might be people that are out here doing it legit, like Hollywood, who's got 716 games played while keeping an 85 win percent. And you know, it's devaluing whatever he's doing as well, because even if it is legit or if it isn't, no one knows at that point. It's hard to tell who's doing it legit and who's not. I mean, like, a lot of people that are upholding a 90 win percent on here, I would believe it for the most part, for sure, even 85 plus for that matter. It's just these glaring, you know, let's be real, bro. It's pretty glaring that this is not how it's supposed to look. And mind you, I want to show you how the rank system works a little bit in here. So for beating a team as such of what they had, where it was like a diamond and a silver, I know I mentioned that it was only 2%, but I believe it's 3 right here. As you can see, you go up from 49 to 52. Now here's the deal, right? If we lose that game, we go down by 7%, bro. 7. And that's insane in my opinion, because if we match up with a post score, which for that matter already is a really hard matchup to deal with, where this dude's on a 7-footer with like really good, you know, pass axe strength, standing dunk, O-board, he's playing with a good shooter as well, and we just have to deal with that, it's going to be tough, you know, to uphold wins consistently on that. Yeah, we did, and it felt so vindicating. It felt like an absolute just, oh, it felt like the best feeling in the world to actually win these games. But the truth is that he went down 0% for all these games, and we went up a total of like 9 or 7 or something like that. And the problem is, if we would have played him a 4th time and then lost and played him legit, we would have gone down all the way off all those other 3 games that we won. So long story short, to win the spread essentially of whether you're playing legit or playing as a cheater, if you will, the cheater, for instance, gets to lose 0% no matter what they do as far as the losses, and would have to just win 1 game to go up by, like, you know, a net total of about 3 or 4%, and then the people who are playing legit would have to uphold winning 4 games in a row before they even drop one to profit that exact same amount. So it's an impossible uphill battle to climb. Now, we have to reflect and talk about me a little bit as well. Was this worth us doing this in reciprocation to it and seeing that this is a thing and starting to do that in these regards? Because let me show you guys myself doing it, because I am here to, you know, take accountability. So like, we're playing against this, you know, 6'7" dude with a high close shot, and you would never think that this is a toxic thing to do, right? But check this out. Now, I want to showcase this real quick to show the despicable gameplay that is happening. And I mean, I'm not trying to really hate on him too much, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. But like, look at this, bro. We're hitting very tights consistently. I'm talking consistently, bro. Like, he's getting a yellow open. He gets another open right there. And now here's the thing, right? As you can see, here goes me. It's at game point. It's 20-0. The dudes hit close fades off like tights and stuff like that every single time. We're double teaming a 6'7" dude, bro, who is doing this, and they get a free board off it anyway. Despicable gameplay for that matter. And here we go. We dash, you know. I'm like, let me know what you would do. Let me know what you would do. Again, I'm here to try and take accountability, but if you were to lose in a fashion like this, while you're also trying to climb the leaderboard with your boy, your literal IRL that you're having fun doing something like this with, what would you do? I just want you to put yourself in my shoes a little bit and understand that we just played that glassy dude 3 times in a row. We see him dash all 3 times and take no loss for it. It's hard, man. It's hard not to be envious of that and think to also dash in this regard. And look at this. This is another different clip. I'm going to show you guys my actual desktop footage real quick and just show you this. So like, for instance, we have close fade cheese, close shot cheese 3, finally beat close spam, close shot cheese. Like, bro, I'm here to show you that these are all different footage against the exact same dude. Like, this is him in this game. Yet you can see same gameplay. You know, it's a very tight from close fade range, and I got 88 interior defense and I got 85 prim. You decide which one you think actually matters as far as contesting that. I have no idea. But either way, the only way to stop it is to snatch block it or just block it in general. So you start trying to jump on it and stuff, and then they can just hit you with little shimmy fades that make you like bite on them to jump essentially, and then you just go flying. Anyway, point being, this is a whole separate game, and there we are. We're doing the same thing as what Glassy was doing. You know, we're dashing out, because me personally, I'd hate to go out against something like this where dudes are hitting reds consistently on post fades. So we're in a bad spot where the gameplay is toxic. The leaderboards are Mickey in the first place. They don't mean anything anymore because people can do exactly what I'm talking about here and dashing out and stuff like that. And I hate to put 2K in such a terrible spot, bro, because I know they're going to work on fixing this for sure. You know, the leaderboards thing, the close shot spam and stuff like that as well. I'm sure they're working on it. Both those two things need to be patched 100%. But again, I'm here to take some accountability in today's video and talk about how, yes, even though I'm seeing stuff like this where we're literally double teaming a dude who's shooting reds consistently on us, like that's 2, you know, I'm gonna count up the reds right here. That's a very tight, that's 3. He gets a wide open right there. A yellow, you could count that as like 3.5. Very tight, so that's 4, you know. It keeps on going. He hits a yellow right there. Another very tight, that's 5. That's another tight, that's 6. That's the very tight that actually missed, fortunately enough. And then on game point right here, he ends up shooting another red where they get to 20 points. And then on game point right here, that's for 6, and it's another red. Listen, even through all of this, I need to take accountability and own up to the fact that I should not be doing this. I'm a content creator. I have a different expectation to be upheld, and I have to be a good role model in this regard. But here's where it's tough to toe the line. And I'm just gonna keep this paused because I do want to talk about this, and I don't want, like, we don't need to be distracted by anything else. I find it really hard to toe the line sometimes between, I have a higher expectation than others in terms of like not, you know, resorting to tactics like this. I have to trust in 2K that they would fix this, and I have to play the game legitimately and understand that me getting banned is definitely not worth the idea of rep chasing, you know? And if I do get banned, I'm willing to accept that and just, you know, admit defeat in that regard. And it's not even more so admit defeat. It's more like face the punishment, I guess, as well. Because while I haven't exploited this as much as other people, even still, because I only did it for probably like 7 games or so, but I know how this works, where it doesn't matter if you did it 500 games versus 7 games, it's just gonna, in general, be punished the exact same way. There's no merit to, you know, the amount that they're gonna reciprocate that type of stuff. So while I am also saying that, and I need to, you know, take more accountability than others, and I can't be doing something like this, I will also say it's really hard to figure out where to shine the light and where not to shine the light, because I don't want to make a video like this because, as you can see, I'm making excuses of exactly what we're facing and why I feel like I want to dash out of games like this, and explain to you guys that when Glassy's doing it, when, you know, Chalk's doing it, when the dude at number 2, this only IQ dude who's got a 72 win percent at number 2 in the world is doing it, and I and my boy want to rep chase. We want to, you know, like climb the leaderboards and stuff like that, and we were doing it legit at a 92 win percent and stuff. And then it all comes crashing down off me seeing that the top guy and the top dogs just in general are dashing out of games, and we have to do that as well if we want to compete. It's tough, man, because I really, I hate being in that spot, you know? It's like my brother, I was talking to him about it earlier today, and he called it a catch-22, where, long story short, it's like, if I dash out of games, I'm going to get a lot of hate from the community, and I need to be upheld by a different standard. If I don't dash out of games, me and my IRL are just not going to have fun off the fact that this is really toxic to deal with the fact that we have to deal with despicable gameplay like this, yet still can't even win the game. So we're just naturally going to fall down the leaderboards. And then also in that regard, there are other people above us that are doing it that are, you know, not having to deal with that. So it's almost like a if you can't beat them, join them sort of deal. But it's such a rock and a hard place because obviously I have a different, you know, standard to be upheld as a content creator. Then there's the catch-22 part 3, where not only could I A, not do this at all and suffer as a player, B, do it and then suffer as far as, like, you know, my reputation, and then there's C, I could sit here and say 2K shouldn't have this in the game. They shouldn't be able to dashboard. But that's a catch-22 as well, because I don't obviously want to face that type of, you know, backlash of me blaming the video game when it's obviously something that the player itself can choose not to do. So again, it's as my brother said, a catch-22. It's a really tough spot to be in, and I don't know, I guess it was just I chose wrong, you know, and I apologize for that. I made a mistake. I shouldn't be dashing out of games like this to avoid the demotion and stuff, and if you view me differently as a person, I understand, you know, it is what it is. I will say, I do want to stick up for myself a little bit though. I really do stand by the fact that I'm telling y'all this win percent stuff is legit. Like you can see, this is a screenshot from 19 days ago. We're ranked number 41, 20 days ago. This is when we had an 89.5 win percent. We're just golds, we're climbing up the boards at number 47, and it's a pretty like generally, understandable rank system as far as that goes. Everything looks simple. Doesn't seem like people are quitting out or anything like that, because we got a 90 win percent. Yeah, we're around there. Like right here, you can see all these win percentages that I'm gonna showcase, like 88 and 97. I'm telling y'all, like that is an 88-9 record right there, and it's number 32 in the world. I need you to understand that though, yes, I am saying take my word for it, we did not dashboard out of games by this point right here. I need you to understand that even if that somehow were the case, we still only lost 9 games out of 97, which you can't hide that. If you dashboard out of the game, you get the loss, period. You don't just not get the loss. That's why I'm exactly saying there are people with a 70 win percent at number 2, because they do get the loss. It's just they're not losing the rank. However, this is true blue, like 100% legit right here, where we're at 32 ranked on 97 games. And I could keep on going through here. Obviously, like you can see, we climb up to 19, 17, stuff like that. When we're at 17, it's 110 wins to 120 losses. That's 110 and 10 on the record. And again, I can't fake that. That's truly, we are 110 and 10, even if we dashed. And if we did dash at this point, we would probably be at number 10 or 9 when, I screenshot this, let's see, it's, sorry, my game's moving slow, but like 15 days ago. So that was probably our technically peak. I think we ended up losing more games as time went on, and we ended up falling down to like 21. I think that's gonna be the next. This is not where I'm actually at. This is ones right here. I guess I could zoom in on it just to prove to you that it's legit that I'm on ones instead of twos, just to be very transparent in this video, 100%. But I'm trying to find the next screenshot that we would be at as far as like a twos update, because I guess we didn't really play a whole lot. So yeah, okay, this is back to square one of where I talked to you guys about of a more recent screenshot where we have 158 wins to 14 losses, and that's where we're at with number 21. And that, as far as the time, was literally a day ago. As you can see, that was truly one day ago, and I got caught, quote unquote, doing this on the exact day of afterwards. So you can see where all these are playing out. Like, this is literally the first couple of runs of the day. I just screenshotted it after playing some theater, essentially. So we had like, I guess, 2 games worth of playing it, where I promise you this was not dashing yet. We ended up playing Glassy probably like later on in the day. As you can see, I hit like starter 5, if that's maybe a benchmark if people are trying to track like stats and stuff like that. And yeah, then we ended up, taking a lot more L's right here. Like you can see, we're down to 198 and 2 out of 225, so that's like 198 and 27. Long story short, we lost a lot of games to the post-fade kind of cheesing and stuff like that. And again, I know I'm making it sound like some cope and some like, man, it feels really bad to lose like that, but I don't know. That's up to you guys to judge at the end of the day, like whether that was justified or not. I do regret it at the end of the day though still. So like, if you want to make that decision for me, I appreciate it. If you want to like give me a cop out on that, but if I could go back and not do it, I would just not do it. Because at the end of the day, my dignity and integrity matters a whole lot more to me than some stupid 2v2 rank. So I don't know. It sucks that I got people talking about like, oh, I mean, if he's willing to do this, he'd be willing to use a Zen or something like that too. Can we be real? Like, is that actually a direct translation as far as like stooping so low? Like, where dashboarding out of a game is the same thing as cheating? Like, this, in my opinion, yes, it's cheating a leaderboard, but I'm not making it a more miserable time for anybody else on the game. That Glassy dude who's dashboarding against me and Tanner, it ain't making it a more miserable time on us. If anything, they're making an easier win in the first place because we don't have to grit out like the last 2 buckets essentially. And it's not taking any rank away from us. We're still getting the rep. Now, again, I really hate that I'm doing this, but I want to use this as an example in this part of the video. So here we are in the proving grounds, right? It's just me and my boy loading up. And here's the thing. You may wonder what's going on with the banner and stuff. Why isn't mine showing? The game mode's already busted in the first place, where it doesn't let you get games consistently unless one person's banner is not showing. So I'm not even getting the platinum rep bonus either, for that matter. I'm getting base level rep, which is less than I'd even get in park for that matter, because I'd be getting the sleeve bonus, at least like, 15%. So that's already bad enough. But anyway, we load up and here we are. We see chalk and badge plug. Now, I'd like to think this is a great game. Me and Tanner absolutely hooped right here. You can see we're putting the scoreboard on them really good. We're up 17-0, and like this is against some of the top players in the world. And as you can see, Chalk's quitting out right here at 17 points. Now, Badge Plug stays in the game. And listen, fellas, I know this sounds like I'm, snitching on people. I'm throwing people under the bus. I'm talking mess about people, this, that, and the other. But listen, I am doing the same thing as what Chalk is, bro. I understand the perspective of where he's coming at from this. And Badge is mad about it too, because he tells me after the game's over, he's like, I just grinded for, 2 hours to rep up, and then I play y'all and I lose, and boom, there goes all the rep I just gained for the last 2 hours. Totally understand that. That's why Chalk's doing it too, for that matter. And I'm telling y'all, I'm not throwing him under the bus by any means. I'm saying I understand that perspective because I'm the one also doing it. It's hard not to cave into something like this when everybody else on the top of the leaderboards is doing it. Now, quick second, a little bit of humor right here. You can see I snatch block Badge as he's the last guy left in the game, and then we got See the Future kind of going crazy, not enough to actually grab the rebound. But anyway, Badge puts up a little bit of an effort, but I just wanted to clarify, Badge does not quit out of the game. And I heard a lot of people associating Badge with like the quitting and stuff like that. If you want to really judge people for this, I guess, which I really don't think you should in the first place, because I don't think what Chalk's doing right here is unjustified either, like I just told y'all multiple times. But Badge doesn't quit out of the game entirely at all. And I want to show you that even though even though Chalk quit out of the game, we're still going from 87% to 92%. So that's where this comp aspect applies, is you lose less for losing to good people, and you gain more for winning against good people. And in this case, we played a diamond, aka a top 5 for that matter as well, and a platinum at the same time. So it rewarded us with a 5%. And I just wanted to clarify, even though Chalk quit out, it didn't make us get less rep. If this were to take his banner away or something like that and make it so we just didn't get to play him, and for that matter, his banner already wasn't showing anyway, so I don't really know how that works in that regard in the first place. But either way, Badge, if it was just a platinum and like a unranked, we would have only got like 2% for that, maybe 1, something like that. So Chalk, 100%, we still got the benefit off of beating him, even still. So I want you to know that because you quit out, you're not hurting the other player in any regard at all. If anything, like I just told y'all, here, let's go ahead and talk about this for a second. I mean, funny enough, we ended up missing this shot right here. Let's run it back just a little bit when Chalk actually leaves the game. As you can see, he's standing still, not playing the game. I try and get down for the rebound, and he leaves my boy wide open. And we literally lost the possession right there. For all I know, they could have won the game after that. They could have gone on a tear. They could have beat us. So I just want you to understand, this is not making it a worse experience for the opponent by any means at all. If anything, it's helping, because we ended up just getting a free win off the fact that Chalk did quit. So I just want you to understand my perspective, my frustration with people misplacing their judgment on stuff like that. I wanted to go very deep into the detail and the explanation of this, talking about the percentages you get for beating people, how this doesn't de-incentivize you for like the fact that they did quit, how really the only thing that changes is the fact that you don't lose rep on the leaderboard. Yet, how are you supposed to compete when other people are doing it as well? It's tough, man. I know it's a really big excuse, but you have to understand the perspective a little bit as well. But also, when I say understand the perspective, I have to understand my perspective and where I am at as a person, where this YouTube stuff matters way more to me. My reputation matters way more to me. My just status in general of not being a cheater by any means matters way more to me than some stupid 2v2 banner of showing that I'm a top 5 player on the game, when it's the most Mickey Mouse nonsense anyway at this point. So again, if I could go back and redo this all, I would never dash out of a single game. I would have a squeaky clean record I wouldn't have a squeaky clean record as far as playing against those post score like close fade dudes, but what I would have is at least my dignity a little bit more. So I regret that. If you as a person have never made a mistake and don't regret anything in your life, good on you, I suppose, man. But I know a lot of people got some dirt for sure, and it's more than just a video game, you know? So, I don't know. At the end of the day, I dashboarded out of a freaking video game that didn't hurt anybody but the people that are climbing the leaderboards, I guess, when they could also just be doing the same thing. And I guess in a way, I hurt 2K a little bit here. I made a video showcasing an absolute glaring weakness of the game, and I hate that about like me posting a video like this. But again, I feel like I have to clear my name. I cannot stand for people saying that like I would stoop as low to using a Zen or something like that off the fact that I'm doing dashboarding out of a game when I lose against like post scores close fading on me. So I don't know, man. You guys let me know. You can be the judge of it. I'll take any of the hate on the chin. I've been doing it for the last day, and while I do feel like it's a little bit unwarranted, I understand there are some people who are of the belief that it's still a very bad thing to do. And I understand it's not a good thing to do. I know that for sure. And I got some growing to do as a person as well. I need to understand that, you know, there's more important things in life than a status on a video game or how people view you as far as if you're comp or not, this, that, and the other. It's stupid. Absolutely stupid. And someone commented the other day, you know, and really woke me up. Actually, it was earlier today. Just simple as that. But you know what? Matter of fact, let me pull it up real quick. All right, so I just want to read this out loud because he has a point. While he did sun me a little bit and I am still a grown man, technically he did also just say that. I mean, you are a grown man. He pretty much just said that. Laker fan, I want to drop some knowledge on you. Young Buck, you are not in high school. You're a grown man. This is a video game and you're complaining and crying about the leaderboard and proving grounds. And you're dropping names like how high school is and you don't win any money from being a ranked in proving grounds. It's a video game. I mean, you're going back and forth like teenagers getting bullied by girls. I don't understand why stoop to the level of those snitching. You better than that, youngin. And you know what? I mean, he's right. I did say I appreciate you. You're right. I got to reflect a little bit. I got angry about getting called out, and that was actually what started this, by the way, for that matter. And, you know, granted, I think some people actually have a little bit of a problem with that, too, and I totally understand it. The fact that I only spoke up about this because I got, you know, exposed for losing to someone and they posted it on Twitter. To be fair, I definitely could have just, you know, gone ghost on that, and it definitely would have smoothed over a lot better than this, but I don't have that type of, you know, I don't got that in my body, man, at all, where I just want to glaze over it and just act like it didn't happen. And the other thing is, too, fellas, I'm not capping when I say I truly did just learn about this the day of getting quote-unquote caught with it as well. So, like, as much as I do want to say that I would have posted a video talking about this, that's where I told you guys earlier in the video, it's a little bit tough to toe the line between, you know, if I do talk about this, it's going to alert more people to it and they're going to start doing it. Same goes for that close fading stuff. I just spawned probably a dozen people into the 2K community that are going to start doing that stuff because they see it's a free, easy win that not even I, who was retaining a 93 win percent on here, could beat. I'm getting skunked by people that are doing it because they're running double locks while having amazing defense and also on offense can just come out here and get like the most free bucket. And you know, I just spawned probably, like I said, a dozen people into the 2K world that are out here just cheesing off that. But anyway, man, at the end of the day, I need to fess up to a lot of stuff. I've been trying to develop as a person in a lot of regards as well, and it's shameful to do something like this and, you know, have this type of reputation be like greased onto my name when it doesn't need to be at all. And this dude, he made a very good point, man. I mean, he really did call me out on some stuff and he checked me and he's right about it, you know? I gotta really stop like being on that stuff. And granted, while I don't know if I so much believe with the whole like snitching and non-snitching sort of deal, because it's tough to really like say, I don't know, it's hard to say. Like there's no way I wouldn't be able to make this video without kind of still talking about how other people are doing it, because that's the only reason I would resort to it is the fact that others were, and that's the competition per se that you're trying to compete with. And you can't really keep up with it if they're doing it. So like I said, it's not really such a one-to-one thing that people would really understand. So either way, it is what it is. I gotta show this guy at least some appreciation because I saw it earlier. I took it on the chin, totally understood what he's saying, and I know a lot of y'all are probably gonna say the same type of thing to me in the comments on here as well. At the end of the day, bro, I'm 26 years old. You know, at the end of the day, I should not be stressing about a video game so much, but it's just nice, fun, I don't know, reminiscence and stuff like that me and my boy Tanner can hop on here and like, you know, really have fun sweating as IRL homies, playing on the game and really fighting for something on here together, and truly felt like we were prospering on here as well, legitimately for that matter. And just one day of making a bad decision stained the entire thing, and now I'm seen as a fraud on here. And it sucks, man, it really does. But there's nothing I can do about it at this point. I live by a philosophy of you have to control the controllable things in your life. You can't control the uncontrollable, so you have to try and focus on what you can control. And granted, that means that I need to think about that a lot more into the future as well, and understand that I have to take advantage of the controllable things and make sure that next time something like this comes around, I don't fall for the bait. I don't do that stupid fall into the trap as a YouTuber who needs to uphold a higher expectation and stuff like that, and needs to hold themselves accountable higher than the standard of those around them in that leaderboard, you know? So it is what it is. I'm here to take accountability on that, and I stand on that. So, in conclusion, if I get banned, I understand it, I accept it, I take it on the chin. I hope it's not a perma ban by any means. I think that'd be a little bit overdoing it, in my opinion, for, like I said, just dashboarding out of a game that didn't really hurt anybody else. But hey, again, here I go making excuses, right? But it's just tough, man. Like I said, I made a mistake. I'm sure others have, watching this video, made a mistake in their life too that they wish they could have been forgiven for, and maybe some of them weren't, for that matter. I know that's a tough, like, you know, alternative topic as well that we're now getting into, but yeah, I mean, some people aren't forgiven for their mistakes that they make. Unfortunately, you know, I'm being critiqued for dashboarding out of a video game. But hey, I mean, again, I've made much worse mistakes than this in my life, for sure, because I know this is not something that I really deem is like such a bad thing. But again, I have a higher expectation to be held, and I hold my squad accountable to stuff as well. I mean, like, I hope y'all know that me as a person, I genuinely care about like having good people around me. I want to make sure that I'm a good example when it comes to like even the comms and stuff like that. I don't want people to be around me that are you know, bad people by any means, like racist or anything like that, for that matter. There's been people I played with in the past that I've been very turned off by the way that they function and how they move and stuff like that. And I understand that I don't want to be around that as a person, and I don't want to be around that as an example to you guys either, for that matter. I think the point that I was getting at here is that I have to understand that my expectations are a little bit higher than others, and that also means like I take it very seriously, and unfortunately I slipped up, and there's nothing I can do about that. But at this point, I should say, what I can do about it is understand that moving into the future, I need to see things from a normal perspective and not so much a greasy, sweaty, you know, 2K player that's trying to rep up and stuff like that and climb the leaderboards. But again, I know it's a little bit of excuse, but me and my boy were really getting behind this and really like falling in love with the whole idea of climbing the leaderboards together and having every single game played with each other together. I have one more extra because he got lagged out of a game that I ended up winning, for that matter. That's why, actually, you know, my win percent technically doesn't even show it's higher, but I ended up winning a game without him, which, if I would have known, by the way, I would have just dashed out of, because it's like, I don't want to continue to play the game without my teammate. But yeah, and I think that's why they did this too. I think that's why 2K potentially did it, because they didn't want people who were getting error coded or dashboarded out of games and stuff like that. Because actually, I should mention, my one loss on this 1v1 court stuff is from a lag out at the beginning of the game. I got an error code. So I think that's why they're doing it as well, is to put some like kind of restriction on the fact that this really sucks when you get a lag out loss, but it ended up biting them in the back as far as like, obviously it's, you know, come full circle to this. So anyway, again, I know I'm talking circles around this, but I just do want to say I'm sorry. I apologize. I really hope that people who are out there that are watching this don't feel some different type of way about me, but I understand it's something that I have to fess up to, you know? Like, so it is what it is. Was it worth me making a 40-minute video on apologizing? Probably not, but I do like wear my heart on my sleeve, man, with this stuff. And I don't know, I'm sure I'll still have haters for sure, and I didn't do this to win y'all over or anything like that. I just did it to truly explain how I feel about this stuff and, you know, explain myself a little bit. But again, I take accountability, because that's something I need to do as a human a little bit better in life as well. Not point fingers, not, you know, place the blame on this, that, and the other, people around me, my environment, something in the circumstances of where I'm at. Like, finger pointing doesn't do you any good, and to sit here and say that you only did it because other people did as well, I guess doesn't exactly either. So I'm still learning a little bit as well, and I'll move forward from this in a more positive way. Even if I get banned, it's something that I need to learn as well. So I hope that's not the case, but it's possible. And if it is, then I'll just take it on the chin and move forward with it. But anyway, that's all for video. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm not going to ask for likes on this or anything like that, but I hope you at least enjoyed the video and you know, took something from this yourself potentially as well. Because I do like to try and be a little bit more of a motivational person to my viewers as well. I'm sure if you guys have seen me on Twitter in the past, I like to get real introspective with this stuff, get deep with you guys as well. But I know this right here is a bad example, man. A lot of people are disappointed in me for it, but I hope, you know, my name isn't tainted too bad off, like I said, dashboard and out of some games. But anyway, that's all for video. Hope you enjoyed. On that, take it easy, man. Peace.